the chanting of the holy name in the early stage of spiritual life is taken like a medicine. Generally, the Ayurvedic medicines are a little bitter, you all know. But you know very well that the medicine will do good. Doctor has prescribed, so you take it. And then as you take it, it becomes better. Just like when somebody has jaundice, you drink the sugarcane juice as a medicine, which is very bitter. But gradually, as the tongue gets relieved from the jaundice, then you start perceiving the taste of the sugarcane juice. Not that the sugarcane juice gradually acquires taste. It always has taste. It's always sweet. But it appears bitter in the early stage. So one of the ways how the sweetness of the medicine of the holy name can be very easily experienced, it mainly depends upon the attitude of the chanter. You will see when Hanuman went to Lanka, when Ravana asked him, "Who are you?" He said, "Dasoham Kaushalendrasya Ramasya Aklishta Karmana," he says. He says, "I am servant of Lord Rama, and that Lord Rama's activities are all spotlessly pure," like that he said. He is a person of the highest character, like that he said. So, Hanuman had this Dasabhiman, we call it. Dasabhiman means every one of us in this world have some type of Abhiman. Abhiman means our identity in relation which we see ourselves. Like somebody says, I am Brahman. You see people saying that. On a Brahman family. Some people are very proud of being Brahman. And because of that, they get ahankar also. That I am Brahman. In the same manner, somebody may be very proud that I got placed in such and such company. Correct? And people are very proud. So people get their Abhiman. That is actually called as false ego. But there is also true ego. Like false ego is false identification. True ego is true identification. So if I can revive my true identification as servant of Lord Rama, servant of Lord Krishna, so that gives a very stable consciousness in the background. Not only we chant so that we can become free from the cycle of birth and death and suffering and everything. That is a very weak motive. Whereas if one considers oneself like Hanuman, Dasoham Kaushalendrasya Ramasya Aklishta Karmana. Similarly, all through his journey, Hanuman was thinking like that. I am servant of Ram. I am working for Ram. I will please Ram. Ram will become joyful if I find Sita and give him information. That was his consciousness. And what about Sita? Sita is sitting under the Ashoka Vatika and weeping and constantly calling Lord Rama's name. Constantly. So in her lips, there is murmuring of the Rama's names going on. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, like that. And in her mind, Lord Rama has occupied her mind. She is remembering Rama's form, Rama's qualities, Lord Rama's exchanges and dealings and pastimes in the Ayodhya and then the Panchavati, the forest. So this is completely absorbing her consciousness like a sponge absorbing water. So because she was so absorbed in remembering of Ram, that absorption attracted Hanuman to come to Lanka to make a way for her to return back to Rama. Correct? So in this world, many people talk about this attraction principle. They say that you attract positivity or negativity towards yourself. The nature of the universe is such that depending on what you focus on, you attract it, they say. How many of you heard this principle? Correct? Correct. Many great scientists talk about it nowadays. So that means because she meditated on Rama, she remembered Ram, she chanted Ram's name, she attracted messenger of Rama, who made a way for her to again reconnect with Rama. Now our situation in this world is exactly similar to that of Sita. Sita is surrounded by all Rakshasas and Rakshasis, all of it. And we are surrounded by all Kali Yuga dangerous situations. Kali Yuga world, how dangerous it is, needless to tell you how it is. Now, she found herself a stranger in Lanka. Similarly, the living entities, when they come in this world, they find, my Lord, what is this? Actually, the Lord in the spiritual world is the center. He is always remembered and glorified. Whereas the Lord was blasphemed by Ravana, atheistic Ravana. He was anti-Rama. So here she was where she could not immediately connect with Rama or see Rama personally. Similarly, when we come to the material world, even though we want to be devotee, we don't have immediate access to the Lord in one sense because we have immediate access to Maya. So we have to send Maya to back, Rama to front. We have to bring. That's like we do in computer, send to back and bring to front. So one of the easiest ways to bring Rama to front and send Maya to back is to chant the holy name. So and what should be the consciousness or the background mood the boy should cultivate right from the early stage of spiritual life is taught by Lord Chaitanya. Ainandatanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budhau kripaya tava pada pankaja stita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. He is saying that I am dhuli sadrisham. I am very insignificant like a small speck of dust, my dear Lord, he says. And there are millions of such devotees engaged in your service. And I also want to be engaged in your service. But somehow or other, he says, I have fallen from the spiritual world to the ocean of birth and death, the material world. So please pick me up and place me at your lotus feet as one of the millions of devotees, like that is saying. So this is very right consciousness. So we should be aware that we have patitam mam is saying, I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. So the fallen person should try to rise and return back. So that is possible by calling out the name and remembering the Lord. Like Sita was calling out, she remembered the Lord, and then arrangement was made for her to meet the Lord. Hanuman was also chanting the name, remembering the Lord, and he got the embrace of the Lord. You will see that. So in the same manner, you can say Gajendra, you can say Ajamila, you can say Draupadi. Anybody who called out the Lord and remembered the Lord, they all attained the Lord. So every day we do this practice of chanting. Even though the chanting may be bitter in the beginning due to our conditionings and we are surrounded by so many anarthas, clouded. But a devotee is very confident that although I find difficulty in chanting the holy name, this call will be taken seriously by the Lord. We may not take the Lord seriously, but Lord takes our call seriously. That's very important, isn't it? Like Ajamila called Narayana, he didn't care about the Lord. He was caring about his son only. But the name happened to be whose name? Lord's name. So who took care about it? Lord took care. Oh, somebody is calling my name. So that is our hope. Generally the children don't know what is safety, security for them. But who knows about it? The mother knows about it. So, but if a child is just crying, calling for the mother, in some trouble, not even knowing how dangerous is the trouble, the mother immediately takes notice of that. So, with this conviction, one should chant the holy name, and with the background consciousness, to the degree you are able to establish that background consciousness, which is the reality, then the chanting of the holy name becomes inoffensive and purer very soon. And if we don't have that background consciousness, we just think that I have to capture the holy name, I have to utter it attentively alone. Yes, you can also make an attempt to control the mind and direct it towards the holy name, which is somewhat like a yogi's approach. A yogi observes the mind, controls the mind, he pronounces the mantra very attentively, very carefully, all that he does, which is also valuable. And more valuable than that is the background consciousness, which we were talking about. So what I would do as a chanter, I would combine both. I would establish a background consciousness, and I would also make an effort to attentively bring the mind, hear the holy name, a combination of which will eventually make our holy names very meaningful, purposeful, focused, concentrated, and it's like a lens, focused, concentrated on one point. That will definitely burn the paper or cotton. So our impurities in our heart will be burned when we experience the Bhakti Paravash, as the Jiva starts experiencing the melted heart. When the heart gets melted by continued holding of the Lord in the mind. So that will happen by continued chanting with the background consciousness and attentiveness in hearing. Harinam Prabhu ki. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like this trees, ocean of mercy, full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, वैष्णव ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की, नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की।